What's cracking, guys? Welcome back yet again. I want to go over last week. I got some new stuff for this week. You guys know how it goes. Let's go ahead and get into that intro. I hope you guys had a good weekend though. What's cracking, guys? Welcome back yet again. Another episode here on the Honda Recap. Make sure you hit subscribe, hit that thumbs up and that bell so you're notified every Monday night at 8 o'clock when this comes out. Actually, it might be earlier. I'm just used to saying this. So what's up, guys? I think this is the earlier time. We're going to go ahead and launch this. So hopefully you guys are here. How's it all doing in Premiere? What's going on? How you all been? I hope you guys were out having fun this weekend. I want to give a huge shout out to DemC Corp, our sponsor here for the Honda Recap. More than just an all-wheel drive billet bell housing, they will allow you to basically take an idea and actually make it into a physical product or anything else you may need along the way. So definitely hit them up at DemC Corp _ on Instagram. Website coming soon. And invictusjp bringing you JDM bronze glass for the EF and EG hatch and more products coming very soon. Right off the bat, I wanted to talk about what we talked about last week, and that is K the Way. I think a lot of you out there were very, very excited to move on to the K-Series platform, but expense of moving over is definitely an object out there people are concerned about, but things are getting cheaper. We're finding ways to do it, and a lot of people are very invested in the B-Series, which is completely respectable. It's a tried and true platform, and if that's what you have and that's what you love, it's a great platform to be on. And not gonna lie, a lot of people believe that a good B-Series does sound better. Well, I don't know, maybe not better, but it's a very iconic, that's what I wanted to say. It's a very iconic sound. And you know what? From a visual standpoint, I actually talked to Mark, Honda Street Garage, and I completely agree when he says that the B-Series engine is just really good looking. And when you look at it in an engine bay, it looks correct. You know what I mean? And it's probably just because of so long of us seeing it in an EF or an EG engine bay that we're just like, this looks correct, you know? So from a visual aspect, it's a very, very great looking motor. From a K-Series aspect, I'm a still firm believer that I do believe K is the future here from all aspects, from fabrication, engineering, and just moving the platform in a proper direction. I wanted to get into this week's question, and shout out to Dre's Racing Channel for throwing this my way, because this is actually a really cool thing to get into, and is it putting Honda engines in non-Honda platforms? Does it cheapen the Honda platform? Does it advance the other platforms? And how do you guys feel about that? Obviously, we have been putting K-Series as an MR2. We've seen that now. Dre's Racing Channel, for instance, and Boosted Boys have K-Series MR2s. We've seen K-Series Porsche. We've seen K-Series Miatas. We've seen K-Series in Minis. How do you guys feel about that? It's actually really cool to see that. I think a lot of people are starting to see that the power that we make per cylinder in a Honda platform is well above a lot of other platforms out there. It's very cool to see from the engineering and fabrication aspect that people are starting to want to bring the Honda platform into a completely different chassis. K-Miata being one specifically where they make a subframe, hooking it up to, like, you know, a Z3 transmission, or a Miata, I believe, like an NB transmission, and then you have a K-Series as the engine. Obviously, you're making 200 horsepower. A lot of those guys are out there running K20A2s or K24A2s, honestly, and they're just making 200, 220 to the wheel. And in a Miata, that's actually a lot of power coming from maybe 140, 150, I think. I'm not actually positive how much they make, but guys are making a lot of power out there. The K-Miatas are actually starting to become a mainstream type of thing. The MR2s are starting to be really awesome, and you can't hate on that. You're gonna have a K-Series mid-engine in a car. We didn't actually have that. A lot of people have put the engine in the back of a Del Sol because they kind of feel like, hey, and the time period, what did you have? You know, you had a Fiero, you had an MR2. If the Del Sol came mid-engine, man, it would have changed the whole little game plan right there, you know what I'm saying? But it's really interesting in my perspective to see a lot of people taking the K-Series engines, B-Series engines, and putting them into platforms non-Honda. I don't think it cheapens the Honda brand at all, and I think it only elevates it across the board. I think it also elevates it in all the other chassis as well, because you've even seen it in Hondaroo. It's just cool to see on that, but it's awesome to see that people are wanting to do this sort of thing. So the Honda heritage just moving on to different platforms. It's funny because I think everybody should drive different cars, honestly. I think everybody should drive different cars, but our hearts are in Honda. So it would allow you to basically have a little piece of the Honda world in a completely different chassis, and maybe it just feeds your Ricer at heart or your Honda heritage at heart, where you're like, okay, this is acceptable. I can do this. And I think it's really cool to see all of these other chassis, and it kind of, you know, vice versa, as people that are in the Miata world, that are in the Mini world, or in Toyota, and they're just kind of like, hey, you know what? I really love this car, but I might be able to actually find it cheaper to put a K series in it or a B series in it if that's what you have, you know what I mean? So it's pretty cool to see that. So in my respects, I don't think it cheapens the Honda brand whatsoever. It only elevates it. And I'm really excited to see the new chassis that are starting to come out being Honda powered. I think it's a really cool thing. And again, I think it's just really good for the aftermarket world, because it spreads the love everywhere. There's a lot of holes to be fixed, and as long as there's brains out there that are willing to engineer new things, or a lot of cool welders out there that are going to make subframes or mounts or anything else that needs to happen to be able to put a different platform in a chassis, I'm really excited for that. Especially because when you look at the rat rod scene from a long time ago, you would just take a small block or a big block out of any car and just plop it into a chassis, and you're like, cool, we're going fast. It's basically, it's our little world right here. You know, we're taking our little Japanese hot rods and we're keeping them alive 30 years later, but we're taking our engines and we're putting them into whatever else we didn't get to have fun in. I'm really excited for that. I'm really excited to see, obviously, the build that Kyle and the guys out there at Boosted Boys are putting together, because that MR2 is going to go incredibly fast, and not many people are trying to hit like 1,000 horsepower in a K series, but in a MR2. So that whole thing altogether is really, really awesome. If you guys know some other cool channels out there on YouTube that are putting Honda engines in not Honda cars, absolutely put them in the description below. I really want to check them out. But with that said, let me know in the description right now, guys, what do you guys think? Do you like the fact that people are putting Honda engines in those chassis? I haven't really seen anybody take a not Honda engine and put it in a Honda chassis, honestly. So it's really weird to see that that doesn't happen. Well, not really weird, but you know. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Well, all right, guys, what up? I'm going to slowly roll this in. We're talking about Instagram. The Deaf Guy EG9, this guy's out there in SoCal, finally getting the K-swapped Fiero running, as you guys can see right here. That's really awesome, man. I know you've been working on this really, really hardcore. I think you moved with the family. That took a huge jump, but you didn't quit. You kept things going. You're constantly making this happen. If you guys aren't following him on Instagram, absolutely do so right now. Check this guy out. Following that, I wanted to talk about Vasile Garage. I know you guys know who that is, but I wanted to talk about what's been going on Instagram with his Instagram Live and him actually getting to Eibach. He took the car. Obviously, he takes it on a drive. He always tries to get to Eibach, but he actually hit something on the road because obviously he's really low. Something hit the oil pan, ripped it open, dumped oil everywhere, and I believe he spun a rod. I forget what the final diagnosis was, but he definitely lost the motor. He spent a couple hours on the side of the road. Wasn't really looking good, but the Honda community is literally the best community, just flat out on there. The amount of support on Instagram, people sharing his exact location, like, hey, go help him. Please figure out what's going on. Literally by the end of the evening, there was a truck with a trailer. The car was literally going to someone's house. Someone had a spare motor. The motor was taken out and re-put in, and the next day, it took about a day and about 7 or 8 dudes all working on the car to get it running and all the way to Eibach. And that's insane to know, and I'm incredibly proud of this community, and I'm incredibly proud of everybody on Instagram that's like, dude, we have to help him. We're not just going to let him sit on the side of the road. From watching somebody literally just chilling on the side of the freeway with all the oil just dumped out of your engine, to someone having a spare motor, pulling it, putting it back in, still turboed, and driving it the rest of the way with an entourage of other cars is just fantastic. And I'm just so happy that we can pull together and make something like that happen. So props to you, Vasile Garage. Daniel, have a good time out there. I'm excited you finally made it out there, and props to everybody out there that helped make that happen. Last up, I want to talk about Eric Cattell Racing. If you guys aren't following this Instagram, you absolutely should. It's an awesome tracked out EG out there at Grid Life, putting down amazing times. If you guys haven't checked out, I believe he's got a YouTube channel as well, but he posts a lot of this stuff on Instagram stories, and it's just insane to watch how fast this guy drives. I think the last at Grid Life, he started somewhere in the 30s, ended in 3rd place. Probably within the first minute, he passed like 12 or 15 cars. Amazing setup. The car is just built perfect, and it's really fun to watch how fast this guy drives. To go watt 5th gear is just insane to watch these guys go wheel to wheel. Definitely check him out. All right, guys, let's get into YouTube, what's been going on, and I want to kick this off with Honda Pro Jason out there at Honda Expo, Guatemala, showing you all the cars that are out there. I think he was there 5 or 6 months ago, but he's back again. He said the cars have increased in how well they look and numbers that have shown up. Definitely check out Honda Pro Jason's latest video. He's like 30 minutes of just coverage of what it's like out there at Honda Expo. Following that, we're back at it again with Dash and Cars, with literally wagon content back on the way. One of the cleanest lifted wagons out there right now. This guy got some new wheels, beadlock, Honda doing some street tuning, literally going out there having fun, and I'm really excited, man, because you know what? You never stopped with the wagon. You got into rally, and now you're back into the lifted wagon. You've put in a lot of effort into this car. It's looking awesome. You have not given up on it, and I'm really excited that you're making content back for the wagon. Next up, we got AJ Imports with the H22 CB7 all-wheel drive, getting the fuel line tuck, showing you how he's going to do it, how he does it, and just showing you around the engine bay. It's a really awesome build. I'm really excited for you, man, and you keep pushing on this car. All-wheel drive CB7, there's not many out there, and I'm really excited that you're building this. Next up, we got Izzy Still YDGN with the F to B swapped G charge speed fenders and a lot of other goodies. Finally getting it wrapped up, off to paint. I know you did a lot of the prep work yourself, but you know what? You're probably just going to send it off to get painted, to get it finished up so you can get it back to your house, back together and back to the track, and I can't blame you for that, man. You know what? Working all the time, doing side jobs, and just building cars, man. So I'm really excited for you. I can't wait for the hatch to get back. Following that, we got Tommy Law here in California, trying to live that barred life. I've seen this car in person. It literally looks like a Hot Wheels car, 1-to-1 scale model, but it runs. You have a lot of fun with it, and you're trying to get it barred here in California with a B16 in it, putting everything in there that you actually need. Charcoal canister, the headers, the exhaust. You got everything you need to actually pass the bar. And if you guys don't know what that is, here in California, we have a lot of rules, obviously, but the car culture will never die. But you do have to have it barred, so that way the state of California proves that you actually have that engine in that car. I'm really excited, man. I can't wait to see when it's finally barred, because I'd love to know how you went and did it, but you've been taking us along this entire way, so I'm excited. Next up, we've got Divine, aka Ruined Soul. I haven't forgot, but even though Ruined Soul should maybe be forgotten. But at that point, I'm really excited that you're out there, man. This EJ is getting so much love. You haven't given up on Hondas, and you're throwing a turbo on it just because, you know, you want to have fun. I know you got some other cars and you got some other stuff going on the side, but I'm really excited that the coupe's finally getting some love. I'm definitely tuning into this. Following that, we got Zosh with the K24 back in the car, all together now, and it's looking really, really good. Your car is starting to look like a show car, man, but you know what? I know you're still going to drive it. I know you're still going to have fun, but I'm afraid you're going to get to a point where you're like, Jesus, what did I build here? You know what I mean? But at the same time, you do have the daily, and you know, whenever you're ready, maybe you start working on that, huh? Following that, we got Chris Sadowski, part 4, getting the fuel situation all set up for the Turbo Del Sol. I'm really excited, obviously, because you B20V swapped it, you enjoyed that. Now you're turboing, you're getting the fuel all set up, and we're probably about one video away from seeing this thing rip. I know you just wanted to have a little fun. You're in it for the fuel economy. Just kidding, no one's in it for the fuel economy, but I'm really excited, man. The Del Sol Turbo is going to be extremely fun, and I'm really happy you've brought us along for the entire journey. Following that, we got Keep Gunnin' Ghost Boy Aki giving you the breakdown of what you need when you go to a dyno, and I believe this is actually a very important video for people to watch, because I believe people show up very unprepared to a dyno session. You think it's basically a shop routine. People are going to show up if something goes wrong, they're going to fix it. They aren't. They might not have the tools. You need to bring it. You need to basically make sure you did a checklist. My car is literally ready to drive, get beaten on for a little bit of time there, and then brought home. It's not a full shop, and a lot of places will charge you extra if your car is on the dyno and they have to work on it, because if it ever has to come off and go back on, if it's a hub mount, if it's on the rollers, it's a lot easier, but maybe you have to lift it, you have to get under it. You need to make sure you have everything you need. So definitely check out this latest video for dyno prep, because it's very important. As we're building our cars, we do need a proper dyno. And last but not least, we got Pablo out there SP tuning from the all-wheel drive CRX to the rear-wheel drive CRX, and the guy is having a lot of fun drifting the CRX. I'm not gonna lie, it does look fun. Short wheelbase, like almost smaller than a Miata. You're out there having fun in the dry and in the wet, just having fun, hooning in the CRX, man. I'm really happy for you, man. It's really cool that you just swapped the drive shaft and then you went into it and you're just starting out there drifting in the rain. Have fun, man. Stop breaking things, maybe, but keep doing it. All right, guys, with that said, that's it for this episode of the Honda Recap. Thank you all for joining me yet again. Hope you guys had fun. Definitely check out our sponsors, DemC Corp. Anything you guys want built or created, definitely let them know. Hit them up on Instagram. They're way more than people bringing you all-wheel drive billet bell housings for the Honda community. Hit them up on Instagram at DemC Corp _ and invictusjp bringing you JDM bronze glass for the EF and EG hatches and more coming soon. Head over to Thehondavlogs.com/shop. Pick yourself up a shirt, a hoodie, or sticker, or anything else you guys want to support the shop. I appreciate everybody who has already. Let's keep pumping these things out. I'll see you guys next week. Peace.